Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and tonight we are talking about video games. I'm your host, John Harris, and I'm joined by two other All-Stars tonight. First one being Jake Boston.
I'm so happy that YouTube changed the way you can make money on YouTube, so now we're never going to make money on YouTube.
And Andy Guild.
War has changed.
Jake, real quick, talk about that before we dive hardcore into our episode.
It's just stupid. In order to start running ads on your videos, originally you only had to have 10,000 views total on everything, and now you have to have 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours for a span of a year.
So if you're listening and you're just joining us for the first time, be feel to please subscribe and do all Super Media All-Stars and stuff, as we appreciate your feedback.
I don't even care if you like it anymore. Just subscribe.
Yeah,
and
all you have to do
watch
is,
all of our shit.
watch minutes is the biggest thing, I think, now for YouTube.
That being said, we got a great episode for you tonight. Like I said, we're talking about games. There's a few things in news we're going to go over. There was a Nintendo Direct Mini that happened last week. We're going to be sharing our thoughts there. The main discussion will be about gaming ports. Are they cool? Do we like them? Do we not like them? And then we're going to end with a special Andy Guild trivia. So,
wow.
Yeah. It's been over a week since we talked. You guys had a chance to check out new games since the last time we talked? Or are you still wrapping up some old ones?
Still playing Doom. I jumped back into Super Mario Odyssey to get some more moons because we did a video about the Super Mario cereal.
Yes.
So we did that testing, and then Mario just popped up, and then I've been playing it ever since. So
Nice.
pretty fun.
Yep.
I checked out the Overwatch League that launched last week.
Oh yeah, can you tell what the viewers are, what that is?
Yeah, it's like city-based Overwatch teams, and they compete like 3 or 4 days a week on Twitch, and I think they're being broadcast in the game client too.
Sure.
So you can watch there. But yeah, it drew in 250,000 concurrent viewers the night that it premiered, and then about 200,000 every night after that.
Damn.
So it did pretty well.
Wow.
There was some record breaking. I forget what it was, but it's setting the highest for esports views, I think.
Yeah, I think unique views was somewhere. It was in the millions.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, and then I was also able to get into the Dragon Ball FighterZ beta.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Do you like it?
Well, so it was a 3-day beta. I was able to get in on day 3 because days 1 and 2 there were so many server issues. Like it was crashing and it wouldn't let me log in. I thought for a moment that I might have to have PlayStation Plus to get in there, but you didn't. So
you don't have PlayStation Plus?
No, I don't play. I haven't played my PlayStation in a while. I got to get back to it. But on Martin Luther King Day, when everyone was out celebrating Martin's life, no one was playing Dragon Ball FighterZ, and I was able to get in.
Oh, nice.
Hands on that shit, and it was very hard.
Yeah,
I bet.
I got my ass kicked online.
Did it represent most fighting games have a huge learning curve?
Yeah.
Was this one intense?
It's very simple. So I played through the tutorials. They give you a kind of a slow creep of tutorials to play through, and I played through all those, and I was like, you know what, I have a good grasp on this game. I can play. And then I went into a match, and I got stomped 4 times in a row.
Yep.
It's hardcore. I'm probably gonna get it because it's so good looking. It's a beautiful game. It's really really cool. But I probably won't get into competitive too much.
Right.
When Brett and I were at E3, people were freaking the fuck out about that game.
I think it's going to be the next big fighting esports
Evo?
game.
Yeah, Evo
Yep.
game. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm just not into Dragon Ball Z, but I can tell that it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like the anime does. So.
Yeah, when you watch it, it's hard to tell if they actually made 2D sprites out of the 3D models or if it's all being rendered as you're playing.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy how smooth it looks.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the news. And there's a few things we're going to talk about since our last podcast. The most recent one will be Nintendo Labo. As they describe it, a new interactive way to play with your Switch and cardboard. Mm-hmm. Thoughts, guys?
They're called toy cons.
Toy cons,
Yeah,
yes.
you
Is
make-
that what they're really called?
Yeah, you make that, which is cute. But
Yeah.
you make toy cons out of the cardboard to put your Joy-Cons into to augment them in some kind of way that I assume uses the IR camera and the motion controls that are in
Yeah.
there.
I know the piano definitely uses the IR camera.
Yeah, that one kind of blew my mind because
It's just
you can
weird.
hit. I think you can hit 2 keys at once, which the IR camera's on one side of it. So how is it
I don't
picking?
know.
I don't know.
And there's a knob on the side to change like what type of sounds the keyboard makes.
Yeah,
It's so fucking weird.
it's very strange and it's cool.
This
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
isn't for any of us in here.
No.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, basically it's just Nintendo using their Joy-Cons in the Switch screen itself as like accessories to a toy, which is made of cardboard, and it could be like a piano, it could be a little house, it could be like a dog, I think, and I think we saw a backpack that showed like, and there's like little mini games tied to these like cardboard figurines.
Yeah, like there's like these little like bugs you put the Joy-Cons into and they buzz around. You can have races with them.
Yeah.
Dumb
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
The backpack one's like a full robot simulator type game,
Right.
like a quasi VR situation.
I'm glad they worded this announcement before it was actually announced as more like they kind of made it explicit as more geared towards kids. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get too hyped about this announcement, but it was. I mean, it's cool to see, and like I told you guys earlier, I think I'm more excited to see what people do with this.
I think it'd be neat if they released it like a. I don't know how you could do this feasibly, but have like a dev kit with it, so you could make games or things to interact with your own homebrew cardboard pieces.
Right.
I think that might be the next step, but I couldn't see it happening for a while.
And these toys range from like simple cardboard cutouts to like a backpack that has like strings that attach to your feet and
Yeah.
hands. It's all very, it can get very elaborate, like depending on like where, like maybe how old your kid is or what exactly you want to do with it. But
Yeah. This is definitely not for me because I'm horrible at putting anything together. So this just looks like a nightmare to me. But I know a friend of the show, Riley, he's been on it before. His kid is straight up obsessed with this. Like he wants it right away.
He just posted on Facebook like, yeah, his kid wants this so bad.
And that's just Nintendo's way of a new way to get at a new generation of kids. It's
Yeah.
what they've done constantly.
And then people on Twitter, well, there's two sides to it. Some people on Twitter are saying like, "Hey, this is great. It's going to get kids into STEM fields, stuff like that."
Yeah.
Like it's because it's kind of like creating engineering stuff like that. The other half of people on Twitter are making their own homebrew concepts, which include a sex doll.
Oh my god.
of course they are.
Yeah. So
This was just announced 2 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to use that vibration for something.
yeah, within 2 hours there was a concept online for a sex doll.
Of course there was.
Yeah. So take it for what it is.
It is called a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
So just looking at it from a business perspective, there was like a quote like Nintendo has the possibility to make this like a $1.4 million industry for them, which is big numbers for them. And then like for the consumer side, they're selling this elaborate backpack, which is a big piece for $80, and they're selling like a kit that comes with several like a piano and smaller things for $70. What you guys' thoughts on that buy-in? Not to mention, you have to have a Switch already to get into this Labo.
I mean, this is pretty much just the price of a new game, except it's $10 more and it comes with like different cardboard pieces to put it together. So I mean, if you think of it like that, it's not really outlandish to me. When you first told me it was $70, I'm like, that's way too expensive.
Sure. But do you see this coming back around? Like it releases in April. Do you see this being like a Christmas thing?
I think this is going to sell like crazy, and I think
Really?
they're going to come out with more kits before the end of the year.
I could see that.
I feel like once they have their feet underneath them and they get branding with this, that's when it's going to skyrocket.
When you get like Pokemon,
Sure.
Labos, like Pokemon Labo, or they are doing branded ones.
Yeah.
Sometime this year. So I guess I'm right when I say they're coming out with more, just by default. But I see it being a big thing.
Imagine like this cardboard house that also utilizes your amiibos with some kind of software function. Like people, that'd be a
It's
huge
madness.
selling point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's gonna do very well.
Like, of course, this is just introductory, and this just looks like cardboard. If they can somehow make the cardboard not look like cardboard, I think that's when sales will skyrocket on this thing. I think just intrigue-wise, it'll be good for the first round of all these things thrown out. But yeah,
Sure.
I honestly don't know how this is going to sell, but I hope it sells well.
Imagine a partnership with like Lego down the line.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that being something
Actually,
they do.
Nintendo partners with Connects.
Oh no,
No Nintendo Legos, even though that would be great.
that's a sinking ship.
All right, so we'll see what comes with the Nintendo Labo in the near future. Like I said, coming out in April. All right, our next one is still unconfirmed, but more sources are coming out. That ironically, we just talked about this last week after our 2018 predictions. Oh, I did. Sorry. Playground Games, the developer behind Horizon series, most notably their Horizon racing.
Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
not Horizon Zero
sorry.
Dawn.
Yeah, Forza Horizon.
Horizon Kart Racer.
Yeah, it was rumored a while ago that they were creating a separate team for an open action RPG, and now it's supposedly is going to be a new Fable game. And I know you guys have your.
When I read this, I rolled my eyes in such an audible way, and all I wrote in my notes was "John, fuck off."
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts on Fable.
I'm more interested in you guys' thoughts on a studio who's known for racing, interpreting an action RPG. How do you guys feel about that kind of switch?
I don't know if like another team is going to come in and make another Horizon game or how that's going to go, but for Xbox, Forza is a very solid brand that sells pretty well for them.
Yeah.
So in order for them to like pull from Playground Games and make a whole different game, I'm guessing Fable will sell pretty well, but I mean, it's weird that they're going from racing to RPG type games, so
Right. And I feel like,
really strange.
Forza Fable.
there's no doubt in my mind that the Forza team can make a great open world. Whether how they translate that into Fable is yet to be seen.
Are they going to call this game Fable Horizons?
That'd be so perfect. The funny thing is that Microsoft bought back into the Fable franchise after Horizon Zero Dawn did so well. That's what convinced them to open this back up. So we'll just see how that plays out. Like I said, I think this game's probably 2 or 3 years away. All right, our next article is the Consumer Electronics Show. Happened, I believe, a week ago. And we just got a few highlights that can relate to the gaming scene. The first one being HTC Vive Pro was announced. And this is our first, finally, VR headset with no cords attached. This one looks modernized, like they took the time to stylize it. Comfort headpiece and the way it attaches to the head just looks so much more sleek and practical.
And it has sound built into it. Finally,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, which I don't think any other headset besides. Isn't there a new PlayStation one that has sound in it?
You're right. Yes.
So I didn't see physically how it looks. I don't really care how it looks. If I was gonna get one, I just want it to comfortably fit on my head and not shake around and cause me to want to vomit from motion sickness.
Playing VR with wires sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well, you guys have all had a chance to play PSVR with Nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I sat down.
Yeah, it's very cumbersome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to. Well, I've stood up and played the Skyrim VR. It is hard because you feel like you're balancing the thing on your head, kind of.
Right.
The other thing I read about this Vive is so I don't believe they've released any system requirements for it for your PC graphics card, anything like that. I know you can run the Vive that's currently out with a $300 card, which I have. I just haven't got a VR headset. The other thing they said about it was that it's a 3K system or a 3K headset, but it still has a lot of the problems you have with a whatever was out before 1080p. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
The thing I read was that you need to get to 16K to get to retinal resolution, which would be the point where you can't see the anti-aliasing, like the pixel
Jesus.
edge. Yeah,
So what, another 10 years?
Yeah, we're quite a ways away from actually having like a solid, believable, fully uncanny valley
Right. And
beyond.
but even this Vive Pro steps up the resolution from I think it was 1080 to 1200 from now 1400, like you said, the almost 3K.
Yeah.
And I think the Vive has 2 separate screens for each eye.
Yeah,
they're both OLED screens, which is intense.
That's nice.
And
yeah.
it cheats it a little bit by having the screens. So if you look at the PSVR, they're touching each other, but this one does the 3DS effect a little bit, where it cheats it by having them apart a little bit. They're not as high resolution, but they cross over when you're looking at it. So they can cheat the 3K without having the stress on your card, I guess.
That's cool. We tested VR way back in the Science Center, way back 5 or 10 years ago. I feel
Before
VR
PSVR was even out.
right.
Yeah.
And we were astounded then. And I remember Jake, we did that Venice walkthrough of some mansion in the mountains or stuff like
Yeah,
that.
somewhere
Oh
in
yeah,
Europe.
I did that one
Yeah,
too.
you
That
did it
was
too.
that was intense. It was like Mario 64 except worse looking somehow, and I felt like it was real. So I mean,
Right. So now if you imagine these 3K displays with OLED screens in front of you, and you can actually get as close to the real thing as possible of like walking around like you talked about last episode, walking around a real world situation. That just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Too bad it's still such a high price point to get into these high-end VR simulations. So
I mean, that's going to be the problem with VR for the next foreseeable future.
Right.
Is that it costs so much just to get in.
All right, and the next piece of technology that was kind of talked about was, I'm not familiar. I know this company is pretty big across the border, or across seas actually, is NVIDIA 65-inch big format gaming display, which is in short called BFGD.
Oh my god.
Lame.
Big fucking display. That's so lame.
All right, Doom.
ID Soft is going to sue them.
I read into this, and it's very much connected to NVIDIA's like original technology of how they play games, but essentially it's a TV/monitor crossover that happens to be 65 inches, 4K, and it's pretty much meant to be an all-in-one thing for you.
Too bad Brent's not here. He would probably cream his pants over
Yeah,
this.
he'd be jizzing in the corner.
What's the practicality behind this? Do you guys see like
None.
PC people diving into this, or is it?
You would have to sit so far back from
Yeah.
your PC to use it. I could see you having like a really sweet desk with like a lap or a sweet chair with a lap desk, and then you'd have to like wheel all the way back from your computer desk, which is completely covered by a LED screen.
Right.
You have no room for anything else. Like, and you'd have to like sit back there and like look from left to right in your room and try to grasp what you're looking at.
Why wouldn't you just hook up your PC to a television? Like, why would you need this 65-inch BFGD?
Buffer time.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
a thing with PC.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm such a noob over here.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that actually, but the reason that hardcore PC gamers like will spit on you, Jake, if you talk about hooking up to a TV, is because the buffer time between. By the way, this is ridiculous because I've used a TV as a computer monitor and I haven't noticed the difference. There's like a half a second delay, less than a quarter second delay between your inputs and what you see on the screen. So that quarter second or whatever apparently affects the way you play the game.
Well, of course it does.
Yeah, which is such bullshit. Brent would disagree, of course, but
And of course, there's like other announcements that could be game related in the future, but they talked like 8K stuff. They showed like giant Samsung wall TVs, which looked really cool.
146 inches.
Yeah.
And it cost like $20,000.
And there was like a $30,000 Sony 4K projector that was also a coffee table.
Yeah.
Jesus
you
Christ.
could put this projector like less than a foot away from a wall and it would project 65 inches.
that's really cool.
Looks
Actually,
awesome.
wow.
It looks really cool.
Okay, and I have two more news stories I didn't put on your guys' agenda, but we're going to go through them real quick.
All right.
So Fox like Entertainment announced a new Alien game, which
Yeah.
it's still in development. It's going to be a shooter.
Saw this.
But you guys know about Alien Isolation, which was
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
first person.
People are really into that game.
Yeah.
But
And then there was like Aliens vs. Marines.
Aliens Colonial Marines.
Thank you.
And that game was a big piece of garbage.
Yeah, that one didn't catch
So
on.
knowing what we had about Alien, it's going to take place in the Alien universe, obviously. But what would this game have to do to appeal to you guys?
More of Alien Isolation, just like more like scary, like pop out aliens crawling around you're trying to escape and not like catch their attention. I liked Alien Isolation.
That was more of a walking simulator. Do you think shooting aspect would be okay to it?
They were shooting to Isolation.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think I guess I more correlate that game to like a Firewatch experience.
Really?
To me, personally, I guess.
It's like Firewatch meets getting your shit scared.
Right.
If this takes place in the Alien universe, then canonically it also takes place in the Predator universe, and I'd like to play through Predator, the original Predator, as Arnold, like a survival horror game. That would be sweet.
No, it would be really smart of them to bring back Alien versus Predator.
Yeah,
It really would.
everyone loves Predator. Do any of you guys not like Predator?
I like Predator, but I don't like. I think I only liked the first Alien vs. Predator movie.
You mean Predator?
No, both the movies suck.
You mean the Schwarzenegger Predator, which is one of the greatest movies
I
ever
like
made.
I like the old one,
Okay,
but like
yeah.
in like was it the early 2000s, late 2000s? They had Alien vs.
Like
Predator.
2003.
That is a lame movie, and
Yeah.
where the Predator goes to that woman and he's like giving her the warrior marks and shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that movie. The Predator would never do that shit.
Alien versus Predator was a video game in like the 90s.
Yeah.
And that shit was hot fire. It was so good.
So that kind of what you like to see this time around?
I would love to see
Yeah.
that game come back.
I'd be
Bring
really
back Predator.
That would be awesome.
Does Fox still own the rights? Do they ever own the rights, Predator? Is that them?
They both.
I think
made
it
them.
is, yeah.
That's how
Okay.
they were able to
Yep.
do all this stuff.
So
So yeah,
it's in the realm of possibility.
I could see if Fox is doing this, I could see a good possibility of Alien vs Predator coming out, and I would be happy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and our last story is more of a joke, and it's going to be a question for you guys. There was a story like 2 weeks ago that a woman was going to marry a Tetris game.
A woman?
So, this woman was in a prior relationship with like a calculator, and then she got in a relationship with the Tetris game.
This is
More-
a real thing.
This is a real thing.
What does she do with
The
this
story,
calculator?
the story even no.
You don't wanna know.
She said
Does
she
she type out
uses
boobies?
the Tetris game and other Tetris accessories have a full relationship with Tetris. So, in the hypothetical world where you guys are attracted to a video game, you have to marry one. Which video game do you marry?
Well, this is shocking. This is very like I haven't had time to think about this.
I know it's on the spot.
I would marry Bayonetta.
Bayonetta? Okay, yeah.
Because that chick is like sexy, right?
And the gameplay's fun.
Yeah.
She is. She
Whatever.
has a whole bunch of outfits.
Yeah, and outfits. You don't have to look at the same
Yeah.
thing over and
She
over.
doesn't wear clothes. She wears her own hair.
Yeah, so
Cool shit.
yeah, it's like Mystique except not as versatile. It's kind of cool.
I'd marry Qbert. Because I'm guessing he gives
Okay,
amazing
Josh Gad.
Was that in Pixels?
Yeah, in,
Oh,
in
great.
Pixels, Josh Gad fucks Qbert.
Well, why wouldn't you? It's got like a big mouth.
But
Wait,
Qbert,
oh, that's a really a thing in the movie?
yeah, at the,
Oh,
at the
come
end at the
on.
end of Pixels, Josh Gad, well, Qbert like gets transformed into a sexy woman, but then Josh Gad fucks that woman, so Josh Gad is fucking Qbert canonically in
Oh,
the movie.
jeez.
And then there's like Qbert as a woman is like having like little pixel babies. It's really disgusting.
Wow.
You've watched Pixels?
No, I just know about the ending. I just know about the ending because I've heard people like rip it. 'cause it's
Okay.
for being bad.
I'll do like PS1 Lara Croft, like with those triangle pyramid titties. I'll do that. Something about that.
That's a good choice.
The way she side hops. Ooh,
It doesn't
baby.
have to be a woman in a video game. It's just a video game in general, but I get your guys' logic.
So, what video game would you fuck? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, a relationship, I guess. What relation would you be in?
There's probably some VR games out there that you could feasibly have a relationship with at this point.
If I had to marry a video game that to spend the rest of my life with, it'd be Witcher 3.
Oh yeah,
Just because I could replay that game for
John.
hours and hours and hours.
and there are titties in that game.
And there's multiple relationship options in that game.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's just like a desert island thing. Like if you could only take one game with you to play for the rest of your
it kind
life.
of.
Yeah.
We're talking about fucking John.
Straight up.
Wait. Okay. No. Never mind. I would marry Breath of the Wild right before it came out, and then divorce to get half of the earnings.
Nice.
Be a good. Yeah. See, you got to think about this.
See, I was thinking about more about what do I want to spend the rest of my life with what video game. So
If there was only one video game I could play for the rest of my life, it would probably be Tetris.
would it?
Because that
It's
game's
yeah.
different every single time
It's
you
a
play
solid
it.
choice.
Yeah, I would have to pick a puzzle game. I couldn't pick just because Breath of the Wild, you get sick of it over 1,000 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Tetris I could play every day of my life and I'd be fine.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the next portion of our show. And
Wait, just you made all of us sound like perverts, John. Number
I
one,
mean to.
but you did. You're like,
Well, it was either say something like somewhat feasibly normal, like I would marry Bayonetta, sure, or say something like fucked up, like I'd marry the Witcher so I could be with the Witcher always.
no, I want Qbert to give me blowjobs, and you're like, oh no, I think the Witcher 3 is so sophisticated.
That's not what I was talking about, Jake. Not getting blown by Qbert. I was talking about a game that is really special to you.
Take a cue from the cube. Hey, it's Cubert. Take a cue.
All right, guys, our next portion is going to be covering the Nintendo Direct Mini that happened on 1/11, like a week ago. And mostly it's just a lot of small announcements. Obviously, it's called the Mini. But we're just going to go down the list and talk about our reactions to this and whether this even remotely interests you guys. The big one being Dark Souls Remastered.
The one they ended the conference with.
Exactly. I don't think any of us, other than our own friend Jesse, is actually a Dark Souls fan, correct?
I played Demon Souls when it came out on
Okay.
PS3.
I'm into them. I haven't finished any of them.
Which tends to be very common, I think.
Yeah, but I really like the concept and the aesthetic behind it. They're very pretty.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does having Dark Souls a portable game kind of break it? Because you can shut it off at any time.
Yeah, a little. Maybe I'm not sure. I'd have to
Yeah.
get into
'Cause
it.
I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games, but I remember playing Demon Souls. Like, you couldn't really pause the game at all.
Yeah, with the Switch, you'd probably have to be able to pause it.
Yeah,
if
it's a
you're-
portable device.
because
I would
you're
think
in
so.
handheld.
Unless
yeah,
like
that's kinda weird.
unless like if you shut it off, like shit is still happening in the background.
Yeah, because like you could go into sleep mode and something like some zombie vagina would kill you.
Yep, zombie vagina.
Yeah, well that's what half the monsters look like.
Really?
Yeah, they're creepy.
I think-
I'm into that announcement. It's a good announcement.
I like it too. It kind of makes me want to jump into it.
Yeah.
I played Demon Souls and I played Bloodborne, but I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games.
Dark Souls is probably the best of the 3 Souls
Okay.
games, the original one. So it's worth picking up.
Sure. And and I play everything on Switch now, so I would love to take this type of game on the go.
Yeah, and I think it's actually going to get a good track record on it. I
It
think I see people
should.
picking it up. So, and whether what the remaster includes, like I think includes all the DLC, slightly better maybe resolution compared to its original like
Yep.
PS3, Xbox 360 counterparts. So we'll see.
We'll talk more about this, but if this remastered game is $60, I won't pick it up.
I think it's 40.
Is it 40?
I think they announced it was 40.
Okay.
So
Then,
it's not too bad.
yeah.
So-
It has a better chance of me picking it
Yep.
up at 40. So
Our next game that announced was Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which my first impression when I saw this was, why does Nintendo keep pushing this game?
It doesn't make any sense.
Like I get why they want to try to keep selling it, but people didn't really respond to it. It came out on the
Well,
Wii
it was
U,
on Wii U.
and it came out for 3DS.
yeah, where it ran horribly.
Chuggy.
Yeah.
Like you needed to have the new 3DS XL if you wanted to play this game at all. Because I think if you played it on the original 3DS, it went like legit 10 frames a second.
It was really bad.
It was horrible.
Yeah. And now they're giving you another package that includes everything, and I think they're including Breath of the Wild content for this definitive edition, of course.
All the DLC is in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does this even remotely tickle you guys now as it did 3 or 4 years ago?
Never tickled me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't really care about those like big swathing, like kill 50 guys at
Yeah,
a time.
the Dynasty
games.
Warriors format.
Yeah, not my thing.
I'm not a big Legend of Zelda guy, so I don't care if I can play as Tinkle and have a huge balloon that kills hundreds of people. I'm okay.
A very interesting note on the next game was Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is getting a re-release on the Switch as well, but it's including Funky Kong this time.
Yeah,
boy.
as easy mode.
It's easy mode because if you guys remember, this game was kind of known for being hard.
This game is super hard.
But there was like a tutorial mode you could activate at any time, right?
Yeah.
And so now that's going to be Funky Kong.
Which
Okay.
Funky Kong comes with like a surfboard that lets you go over like all the bad guys. You can literally float through the level. It looks like.
Yeah, over all the
Wow.
spikes.
Yeah.
If
Which
you don't want to just like
Oh.
die instantaneously, and he has 6 hearts instead of 3. So
it's kind of cool. Nintendo recognizes that game was hard
Yeah.
and trying to push it again on the Switch.
I'm into it being released because it's one of the games that was kind of interesting to me when it came out on Wii U, but I was never at any point going to buy a Wii U. It didn't have enough stuff on it that I wanted. So I like that it's coming out.
this is one of the few games that I bought and returned like within a week because I bought it
Really?
used and then I returned it within a week and then got my full money back because I just didn't get into it at all. It was super hard.
I was gonna say I own it on the first. I played the first 2 levels, and the game looks great.
It really, yeah, it does.
It looks fantastic.
It pops.
Yeah, it really pops. But like Jake said, it's hard to dedicate yourself to a game that can be that brutal for a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
Well, were either of you into like the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong?
Oh yeah, I loved the 1 and 2.
Really? And you didn't like
It-
that? Weird. That's really weird.
I actually I got pretty far to Donkey Kong Country Returns and the
Yeah.
Wii.
Okay.
I really liked that game.
And when I first heard they were going to re-release this, I was surprised they didn't have Returns in with this. But it kind of makes sense because they never made Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. It was only
Yeah.
Wii and 3DS.
so
So that would take a lot more time to work on.
right.
But still, I don't know how expensive this one's going to be either. And I don't think I'm going to buy it. Doesn't matter what price it is because I played it on Wii U and I really wanted to like it. I just didn't. The controls felt weird. Just, yeah.
The next one is actually content for Super Mario Odyssey, and that is Luigi Balloon World.
Yep.
Jake, you want to explain what this is?
Yeah, instead of playing as Luigi in Super Mario Odyssey, you gotta find him, and then Luigi's like, "Oh yeah, I hit a balloon. You want to find it, or here, hide this balloon and have other people find it."
That's an offensive accent. Toy.
Baba Kaboo Linguini. But yeah, no, Mario is just able to fly everywhere in his own ship, and Luigi has 3 balloons stuck to his fucking backpack. It's just so sad. Luigi's the fucking best, and they always shit on him.
They do. They do really do in this one too.
The year
awesome.
Luigi, Nintendo lost like $500 million. It's just like, Luigi can never catch a break. It's so bad.
Jesus.
This mode kind of serves as a multiplayer function as well.
Yeah,
Sure.
anybody can hide a balloon, then you can find it, and you have like 30 seconds to find it or
Right.
to hide it. So yeah,
The appeal here to me is, and I don't think I'll ever play it, that it would be fun for multiplayer, and to its credit, my Odyssey has a lot of nooks and crannies to hide stuff.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
would be fun to attempt to explore.
No, playing Odyssey this past week, I will totally play this part.
Yeah.
I think it sounds really fun. Just a fun way for filler until they actually come out with real DLC.
And it's kind of like a nod from Nintendo to, what do you call them? Speedrunners. For them to.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I can see speedrunners having a heyday with this.
I guess I don't know.
Because there's like places you could hide stuff that's like really hard to get to, like having like that would require like very timed special jumps.
Right, to get
I
to
mean,
it.
it could be fun. It's free, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
free
Yeah,
update.
so
Free.
why not get it? Why not play it for a minute?
The other question I want to ask you guys: does this eliminate, or is it just like just content? We already had a discussion of whether it's going to get DLC or not. Does this make you feel like it's still getting it, or less like we're going to get actual DLC content for like more worlds for Odyssey?
DLC for Super Mario Odyssey
Yes.
will be released E3. Like,
Ooh.
will be thrown out and released day of.
Prediction?
That's my prediction. Yeah,
Gotcha.
because
Okay,
they did that shit for Zelda for the Game Awards.
They did.
I'm guessing they'll do that for Mario at E3.
I think this does make it more likely that we get DLC because it's proving that they built in the infrastructure to add things to this game.
Sure.
I could see it. I could see there being DLC before the end of the year, October maybe.
Yep.
Don't forget to mention the new outfits for Mario.
Oh yeah,
Which
There's
there
like
was
a night outfit and like a beach outfit
What
and
is-
one other.
and
one. I
that's
can't
that's
remember.
to celebrate Dark Souls, isn't it?
It is.
The,
Yeah,
the night
it looked
outfit?
cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really neat.
And the beach one looks. I think it's supposed to be like iconic things from Sunshine, which I think
Yeah.
that's what it showed.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't think it looked like Sunshine at all, but
don't
I can
think so?
see how that can be correlated.
Hey,
yeah.
bring back Flood.
Exactly.
Bring back Flood as a costume.
Oh, we gotta keep going here.
Don't look at me like that.
Our next game that was announced was a brand new game, and it's called Mario Tennis Aces.
Yes.
I have a theory about this.
What is your theory on this?
I feel like this game was originally released for Wii U, and if you remember, a Mario Tennis game was released for Wii U.
like towards the very end.
Yeah, and it was bare bones.
Yeah.
It's like they had a full game, but they waited and just released all of like the very minor parts of a game and put it out for Wii U.
Does Waluigi have the same tennis haircut in the
I
Wii U
love that
version? Which was my favorite part about the whole trailer was Waluigi's hair.
Like combed over,
Yeah,
flowing
like
in
this
the
is
wind.
awesome.
Well, they all had like really like sporty tennis outfits.
Yeah, they did.
It was awesome.
Compared to like old tennis games where they traditionally wear their usual outfits.
Yeah.
Like this looked awesome.
Well, there's finally a fucking story mode in a
Thank you.
Mario Tennis
Yes.
game.
Yeah,
Finally.
I'm really into that. Like
For-
the bosses they teased were really cool looking.
This game is made by Camelot, and
Yes.
they've made a lot of really good Mario Tennis and Mario Golf games. I think they made both the Game Boy Advance games that had RPG elements, both tennis and golf.
Sweet.
And that golf RPG game for Game Boy, it was either Advance or Color, but holy fuck was it good.
Good.
And if this story's anywhere near that one, I'm going to be in heaven with this.
Yeah, from a mechanic standpoint, it looks like solid mechanics as always. The visuals look great, and like Andy said, like they showed like a PD Piranha boss, which like took place.
There was a PD Piranha and there was like a council of piranha plants or something, like all in different spots that you have to like aim the ball toward.
Yeah, which
So it looks interesting.
that's slated for like early 2018 release.
Yeah, this summer I think.
Yeah, so I'm
Spring,
excited to see
summer.
how that comes out. Next one is DLC content for Mario Rabbids, and that is DK is joining the game with supposedly like either a correlation or new story mode.
It's a new like chunk of levels.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then I guess like they tease like how he'll play a little bit with like a banana throw, and it's part of your season pass package, which is awesome. Good to see.
It's very good.
We all played Mario Rabbids here. We all loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to get back to that game because there's been so much content released for it. But this might be what it takes to get me back in.
There's been content released for it, but not a lot of good content to go back to.
Sure.
So this is actually like a good, decent chunk and a new story. So this is the first piece of DLC that I actually want to go play.
Right. And Rabbids did a very good job of creating like an ice world, a desert world, kind of like a traditional Mario world. But if they take like a jungle aesthetic, like hardcore, like DK level, like that'd be awesome.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, but there was a Rabid Kong, like one of the first bosses you play in this.
Yeah, bring him back.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the game. I haven't beaten it yet. I know, boo. But so far, that was my favorite part of the game was Rabid Kong.
Yeah.
The second to last boss in that game is so good.
Yeah, I would
Where
agree.
there's lyrics involved.
Oh, okay. I'll have to. I'm like,
It's
I'm in
good.
that'd be the
Ghost
haunted.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like stuck in that area right now, so
Okay.
I'll have to get back into that game.
Once you get to like the boss of that area, there's like a couple more bosses, but once you beat like the haunted area, it just keeps on going and getting better and better, in my opinion. So,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
there's still a few more surprises you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Our next one is kind of a bunch of media announcements. I included Payday 2 is getting a Switch on release, and it's getting an exclusive character.
Yep. Have any of you played any of the Payday games?
I have not.
Nope.
Payday is so fun.
Is it?
It's so good. It's like Left 4 Dead except you're robbing banks.
That's cool.
It's cooperative, stuff like that.
I know it's a big streamer game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played Payday 2. I've only played Payday the Heist. But
Gotcha.
that game was so fun, and I've been wanting to play Payday 2. And they poured it to fucking everything. So I kind of want to buy it for this, but it's a big multiplayer game. You have to be online to play it.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know how well that would be like on the go. Mm-hmm. I do want to play this game though.
And the voice chat thing.
Yeah, that too. That's weird.
Yeah, and I think the Switch content was like an LED mask that changes in the game. That's exclusive to the Switch.
Right, yeah.
So that looked cool. New Pokken fighters are coming in the form of Blastoise and Aegislash.
Yeah, but you have to pay for them.
An insane amount of money for.
Do people play that game on Switch?
I don't know. I haven't seen any numbers for that game.
Jesus.
I think it sold pretty well.
Did it?
I'm pretty positive.
That
it
seems
has, yeah.
crazy to me. I don't know.
It got some good content when it released again on the Switch, but they're asking for more money for a Pokken fighting game, which it's good.
Yeah.
It's not a bad game. It's just that's a lot of money.
I know, and if I were to play this game, I'd only want the second pack instead of the first. Because the
Right.
second pack had Blastoise, and then it had Mew, and who's that other third?
Celebi is like the
Celebi.
It was like
Yeah.
an assist.
Huh.
Yeah, and the first pack has like a whole bunch of nobodies I don't care about, a whole bunch of newer Pokemon.
Oh yeah, they suck.
Kirby Star Allies from Nintendo Switch got a release date of March 16th, I believe it was, and that's basically just another Kirby kind of multiplayer for the Switch. Looks fun. Looks like it might be a good game for kids.
Looks like a Kirby game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Honestly.
Kirby.
They're all the same. So, after Superstar on Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
I don't think they've made a better Kirby game.
You don't think Crystal Shards in 64 was good?
No,
No.
Kirby 64 is not good.
I think
Really?
I think the Kirby Superstar has to be the best Kirby game.
What about Air Ride? How's Air Ride sit with you?
What is that?
That's the
It's a
GameCube.
racing game.
That's the
Oh, the Press A game.
Yeah, that's all you do.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm good.
I liked that one. There was kind of like a Superstar sequel on
Oh, the-
Wii.
I thought it was on DS.
There's one on there's
Oh, okay.
there's a ton of like Mass
Yeah.
Attack. Kirby Mass Attack was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Well, there was a Superstar remaster game that came out. Maybe it was Wii and DS or
Okay.
some weird thing, but which added like new bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's cool. Like it's a
Yeah.
twist on the best Kirby game. So why not?
They had a Wii 25th anniversary edition for Wii, and our Kirby 25th anniversary edition. But it had like Dreamland 1, 2, and 3, and Superstar, and
Yeah, the Game Boy ones are good too. I used to play the Game Boy ones like crazy when I was a kid. So
Kirby's Dreamland 2. You ride a
yeah.
gerbil.
Yep.
Can't get better than that.
I'm kind of into it, but Kirby kind of sucks now. So yeah.
Well, yeah, because we're not 8.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Another announcement was Faye from EA, February 16th. And if you guys remember this game was like a Fox character, and it plays a lot with sound. If you guys remember what this game looked like, it had like purple forest and everything. It played a lot with like how you talk to the animals in that game. Yeah, it's kinda,
okay.
That's kind of how the response has been so far to this game.
One thing we forgot to say in news is that the Switch sold 1.5 million units in December alone.
Whoa.
So I feel
Wow,
like
okay.
any little independent game is gonna want to be on Switch because it'll sell like gangbusters there.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe it'll do well if there's wow.
We've had articles
That's
of games
crazy.
that were compared to like sales on Steam, and Switch is killing it compared to other games on
Yeah,
Steam.
Super Meat Boy came out last week for Switch.
Yeah.
The first week sales on Switch sold better than the first week sales when it came out for Xbox 360, Xbox Live.
Whoa. Okay.
That's
yeah.
what they came out saying.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. Hey, let's all pick up Faye. Jesus.
And there was like another article that stated like in retrospect, the first 10 months of all console launches, the Switch has performed the best. It sold the most
I've
units
seen that one too. Yeah,
in the first 10 months, so which is pretty much where it's at right now.
Switch is kicking ass.
that's
It
crazy.
is. I'm really hoping it keeps continuing so we get more awesome content.
Remember when they announced the Switch and everyone was just kind of like, what the hell is Nintendo doing?
Exactly.
And now it's like, what the hell is Nintendo doing?
Well, after the Wii
Gotta
U, we
copy
were
it.
all nervous.
Yeah.
We were legit nervous.
Well, I mean, Nintendo always does different shit because
Yeah.
like this, like who would have ever thought like, oh yeah, we want to bring our games on the go and things will sell well.
Yeah,
oh, we don't want discs. We want these little memory cards that
Yeah,
you pop
it's
in.
crazy.
Who'd ever thought that we'd be playing cardboard with your games?
Oh, yeah.
That just seems insane to me. The idea, I never would have correlated.
Nintendo's always crazy, and I mean, fuck, with the Wii, they wanted to come out with a vitality sensor you put on your finger.
Right.
Oh,
That
yeah,
never came
for
out.
like a horror game or whatever. That
Yeah.
was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then our last, second to last announcement is, I think it's pronounced Celeste.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like a spiritual successor to, or is it Towerfall? Is that the game I'm thinking of, or is that the studio?
It's the studio that made Towerfall Ascension. That game is more like a multiplayer game.
Sure.
Like a battle royale type of game. This one just looks like a side scroller, but with those same like mechanics.
Was Towerfall that Smash Brothers clone? Okay.
Yeah. Where you like had like little arrows you could shoot at
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
I think it's also coming to other consoles as well. So, the last one I was really excited about. I'm not sure if you guys ever played this game, but The World Ends With You
Ugh.
Final Remix.
You're the one who's played this game.
There's others. It has a very
I tried to play this once. I bought it on my DS or 3. It was DS. I think.
DS. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it
Yeah.
and think it was trash.
I was the same way. I bought this game, didn't like it.
Yep.
It's so interesting because I loved the fighting mechanics to it because it used the original DS version had a screen on top that you used your buttons to fight with, and then the bottom screen you had to use your action or your stylus to fight. So it was very meticulous. And then they ported it to iPad. It was all touch based, and that worked okay. But now they're using it for a Switch where it can use Joy-Cons and like touchscreen animations to make these characters fight. And they're actually charging $60 for this
Holy
game.
What? Oh, now I'm mad.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They're charging a full because
That's horrible.
They're trying to make their money back.
well, they're teasing it's not relevant.
Oh my God.
Say what you will, but
Teasing
they're
a sequel?
an epilogue.
Oh my god. Fuck them. Fuck that.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
No.
So
Wow.
But Nintendo does that, and they'll get away with it because people will pay $60 again.
Isn't it SquareSoft?
Yeah, that's
Square
what I thought
Enix?
too.
Square Enix? It is a Square Enix
Yeah,
game.
fuck Square Enix. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck re-releasing Final Fantasy 15 the complete edition or whatever.
Royal Edition.
Because that game pissed me off so bad. I saw this on Facebook today.
yeah,
I fucking hate that game.
but save it.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is part of game ports.
Oh, ooh.
All right, save your heat, cuz
Ooh.
Just jump into it now, John. Let's go.
our next subject is gonna be our main discussion, and
The meat.
the meat portion of the show,
Fucking meat.
and that is game ports. And the reason I chose this topic today because I feel like just looking at our Nintendo Direct highlights and gaming in the last 5 to 10 years, game ports have become like a regular thing to expect with almost all consoles. So when I say game ports, I mean a game came out well, maybe on your GameCube, got ported to the Wii, or like we just been talking about, game came out for the Wii U. It's coming now to Switch.
Before we start this has been in the video game industry forever. I mean, Donkey
Yes.
Kong came out for ColecoVision and then came out for Nintendo.
True.
And then like Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 got re-released as All-Stars on Super Nintendo.
Right.
This has been happening forever. It's just at a crazy high-paced release, just shitting them out nowadays.
Right. And they're using every term possible to get you to buy stuff again, such as HD graphics or re-release or a compilation like the Dante, or is it the new Dante collection 1, 2, 3?
Devil May Cry
Devil May
HD.
Cry. Yes.
Yeah.
They're coming out with all these collections now. So, the first question I want to ask you guys about game ports is, in your personal opinion, are game ports a bad thing?
No.
No, I don't think they are a bad thing because let's say you haven't played any of these games and like there's a big collection of them. Like if 3 games are bundled for the price of 1, you've never played any of them before and you're interested, it's a perfect way to go play them again. Because nobody's going to the majority of people aren't going to bust out an old system to play these old games.
No, I was thinking about possibly pulling out my PlayStation 3 a few days ago to play Katamari, one of the Katamari games.
Sure.
And I just have no motivation to go dig it out, plug it in. I don't know, fuck it. I have my PS4.
I have like 8 consoles plugged into my TV out
Yes,
there.
you do.
And I rarely use any of them. So it's a pain in the ass to do it any way you want.
Right. Are you guys more likely to rebuy a game if it's so they come out with HD versions of games now. Basically, they're just up the res for like a PS4 or Xbox One. But they also get games like Donkey Kong we mentioned, which is the exact same game. It's just available now on your Xbox, but you gotta repurchase it again, or Nintendo, I guess, repurchase it again.
Yeah.
Do you guys tend to favor like that terminology of HD graphics, or does it matter what forms it comes in? Does it have to have upgraded resolutions for you guys to even think about it?
So I played Shadow of the Colossus when it came out for PS2. And then they had an HD collection of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. I bought it again because I never played Eco.
Which was on the PS3.
Yeah, it was PS2, and then this collection was for PS3. I've never played Eco, so I'm like, oh, okay, this will give me a reason to play Eco, but to also play Shadow of the Colossus HD. And now they're coming out with Shadow of the Colossus HD-ified more for PS4. Yeah. I'm probably going to fucking buy the game again for a third time.
Not only that, it's also, because this is what I look into, a collector's edition for that.
That too.
Yeah.
Which looks really cool.
I think that when they say like Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3 HD, I think that's a little disingenuous, just because you can't re-release it and not have it native to like 1080 or whatever. Like, of course you're gonna upgrade it to quote unquote HD, which I feel like they don't really do much to upgrade it. They just kind of sharpen the image a little bit.
And I think it depends on like the studio. Like like you said, Devil May Cry is probably going to put like a filter on it that helps up the res. But like in the case of Shadow of the Colossus, supposedly they built that game from scratch, but kept some mechanics.
Shadow of the Colossus is a remake, right? It's like a remake of the original. They rebuilt it.
Yes,
that is what they're saying. Yes, they haven't shown a lot about
saying,
it. So yeah.
So we'll I believe, if they say that, you have to believe it, because I don't think they can sell it, and I don't think they can tell you that and then legally sell it, because it's like misrepresenting the product or whatever. But
sure.
Yeah, like having a Shadow of the Colossus HD, Ico HD, whatever. It's cool if there's a collection you've never played one or either game, but that wasn't HD. Like, that was barely HD.
Yeah, but then there's another thing that just came out last year was the Crash Insane trilogy.
Yeah.
And those were 3 PS1 games that got like hugely they built those games from the ground up again too.
Yeah, and that's what I expect out of a port. Like, if I want to get something that I played previously and it was like upgraded like that, I'd probably go for that.
And I got that game for Christmas, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love playing those games because I haven't played them since I was fucking 9-10 years old. So, and they still hold up. It's still super fun. But yeah.
I think it's probably fair to say that depending on what console it is and what exactly is being ported, or more likely to buy it, because we've had discussions before, I am 10 times more likely to buy a Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 HD collection for the Switch than I am more likely to pick up like another Halo Master Collection, but 4K Xbox One X edition.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, just because you enjoy those games more, I think.
Right.
Like, because Galaxy games are 2 of your best, like, favorite games.
Right.
So, like, I was thinking, like, I bought the Metroid Prime quote unquote HD re-release that had the trilogy on it, and I've purchased Chrono Trigger a couple times on like a Virtual Console, and there was a 3DS kind of a remaster type thing with an extra boss and everything. Like, so games that I really like, I'll buy again if I'm thinking about playing it. But like Okami came out recently. I was on the store page on PlayStation, and I was watching the videos, and I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna play it. I want it, but I don't think I'm gonna play it.
That's one of those games. That's Okami in general is probably a game that's been ported probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, that came out for PS2 originally.
Yeah, yep. And then it was on PS3, and then it was on Wii.
And like a controller change on the Wii too.
Yeah,
it was like motion controlled.
Yep,
which was way different.
Well, it was cool because you could use like the art brush with the Wiimote, and that kind of made sense.
Yeah, that one made a lot of sense. But having it on PS3 was weird.
Yeah,
but now it's on PS4. The other thing I kind of just noted here was that I think they're moving away from this a little bit with like PlayStation View, right?
Sure,
argument can be made.
Well, I mean, obviously not moving away from it, but I think it helps to have a service like that where you don't technically have to re-release all these things in HD. You can just have a service where or the potential Switch service that we always talk about.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
There's something like PS View. Rockstar Games has just done some re-releases. Like, they didn't do fucking shit to these. They released them as PS2 classics.
Oh yeah,
Thrown them out for the PS4 store for like $15. I've bought San Andreas. No, yeah, I bought San Andreas and Vice City just so I could play those old games and get trophies for them.
oh, Vice City's probably my favorite Grand
But
Theft Auto.
the game
still.
essentially hasn't been touched at all.
No, it's the exact same fucking game. Like,
Right.
the graphics are still PS2 graphics.
Right.
That's awesome.
And it's a PS2 classic game they just threw out there, but I cannot tell you how many remastered, not even remastered, just like ports or collections of games just so I could get trophies and get trophies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, trophies. When I bought my PS3 in 2008, I was so obsessed with trophies. For a span of like 5 years, I just couldn't get enough of
I remember
shit.
every time I saw your trophy score, I'd be on my friends list. I'd be like, "Holy shit, Jake has a lot of fucking trophies."
Yeah.
Let me ask this next question, and this is kind of Switch relevant, but also before Switch times, there was your iPads and your tablet devices. You had your Grand Theft Autos, you had The World Ends With You, you had the Knights of the Republic games that were ported to these mobile devices, and it had reinterpreted controls. Did you guys ever get into that scene at all? Did you ever get some of your favorite games made for, like, I think there's like a San Andreas version for mobile, isn't there, on the iOS?
It
For
probably
like
is,
$5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I bought GTA 3 just because I wanted to see how that played on my iPad.
So obviously the market's there for that. Would you guys argue that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does that remotely interest you guys?
Not really, just because I've never liked touchpad controls, like full touchpad controls. I like the controller aspect of it, but I mean, people are buying them, and I bet they're really easy to port, just because you put like either a touch controls, or you put like a fake gamepad on there. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I've seen like old Pokemon games, obviously ROM'd for phones.
Yeah, that one makes a little more sense, because you just hold your phone and you it's only like four directions and 2 buttons, so whatever.
I bought GTA 3 for my iPad. I tried playing it with the touch controls. I fucking couldn't. I bought a Bluetooth controller just so I could play it on my iPad.
There you go.
And it was still fucking weird
Yeah.
because it was still like a really cheap Bluetooth controller. But yeah.
So what's the obviously with these reports, and this is probably even more relevant with this Wii U and the Switch ports, but what are companies like Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation charging too much for a game that's been rehashed several times? Like, take for example Street Fighter 2 30th anniversary edition coming out. Yeah, and I think they're going to I think it's either $40 or $60 for that game.
Well, they came out with one for Switch called what it was, Super Street Fighter 2: The Battle Continues.
Or like something like that.
Yeah, and they added like Dark Ryu and Dark
Yeah.
Ken, and that game came out for $60 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Fuck that. See, there are people I bet who have purchased an iteration of Street Fighter 2 20 or more times, because there are that many versions of it. It's insane.
What degree were you guys willing to purchase a game again? How much?
I mean, it just depends on how much you like the game.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2, there's so many people that love that game so much they will buy it for $60.
But like, is there a favorite game to you guys that you're saying, this is my favorite game, but I'm not buying this again for $40?
Well, I mean, like
there's a question on here that says what game you've rebought the most, and
Yeah.
that's my answer to it.
Okay, so save that.
Okay.
answer, 'cause we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's some fatigue involved, especially with Nintendo, because people have been asking forever to get some kind of account where you can link your purchased games to it.
Yeah.
Because I have probably purchased Super Mario Brothers 3. Oh God, I don't know how many times. It's insane.
So that's my next part. Or Jake, you guys kind of hit on this, but is there ever a point of fatigue? Because we're gonna keep getting more consoles. We're getting more generations of games. And let's say 20 years from now, how many renditions of old games are we going to get?
The only way this stops growing is if people stop buying, and I don't think people will ever stop buying old games.
Are you going to ask that question?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I bought Mega Man 2 on my Wii, my DS, my 3DS, a second DS that I had, like the DSi or whatever. I think I have an NES cartridge of it somewhere. Like, I've bought that game so many times, and I'm never going to stop. I'll never stop buying Mega Man 2.
Yeah, we're just going to go into this question now.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers was the first game I've ever played, and it just struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
I'm a retro collector, so I have a whole bunch of different systems and everything. I have Super Mario Brothers for NES, and then I have the Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt, and then I have Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt world-class track meet, and then I have Super Mario All-Stars for Super Nintendo, and then I have Super Mario Brothers Deluxe for Game Boy. I have rebought it for Wii. I rebought it for Wii U. They came out with a collection for it for DS. I bought that one. GBA, I bought that one. There's so fucking many.
Yep.
I'm pretty positive I've bought the original Super Mario Brothers for like at least 10 times, close to 10 times,
And that's why it's one of the best-selling games of all time.
because it's amazing.
Because of you.
Never
keeping the economy going.
It never gets old.
Yeah,
I can play that
it's a
game
really-
till the day I
yeah,
die.
it's a classic.
I mean, from a business perspective, it makes sense. If your consumer base is going to keep buying a game, why would you not put it back
Yeah,
out there?
I mean,
Exactly.
it makes sense. I
And like if you're
Yeah.
old and you have kids, you want your kids to play the games that you
Yep.
liked. Like
Yeah.
it just makes sense.
Yeah, and I think like even looking forward to this year, there's games that I'm excited for. Like we talked about Shadow of the Colossus. I'm really interested. I've never played Devil May Cry, but I've always been interested in playing those games, so I'm interested in that. And
if you never played any of them, the HD collection's probably worth picking up. They're all really good.
When I bought my PS3, that's the first console like I ever really bought with my own money, and I bought all those God of War collections.
Oh, sure.
I bought all the Ratchet and Clank collections.
Yep.
That's another thing. Like if you're a new gamer to something and you want to play like a whole bunch of the games that you missed, collections are the best way to do that
Yeah.
because they're cheap. Like Ratchet and Clank when it came out was $40. Came out with 3 games.
And you gotta imagine from a publisher perspective, it's probably not too expensive to drop and drag a game.
Not at
into
all.
No.
No.
Right. So it makes sense.
Especially now, now that they build the consoles with ports in mind, there's probably a way easier way to do it too than there used to be.
How many collections does Kingdom Hearts have?
Oh my god!
A
Fuck
lot.
Kingdom Hearts. Fuck.
Is there 4?
Back to Square Enix. Those. Okay, so
There's a lot.
They have a
you
ton.
can cut this if you want. I'm very angry. I could buy that. Was it Kingdom Edition of 15? Or the
Final Fantasy 15.
the Royal Edition?
Royal Edition.
I could buy the Royal Edition for $50. The Royal Edition includes all 3 side stories that the game I bought cuts out and does not show you.
Correct.
In the middle of the game. This game also includes extra cutscenes to explain who the fuck the king is, the king's bodyguard who betrays you but didn't really betray you, what the princess is doing, which I was so confused about when I found that guy dead in this dungeon randomly, and he's like, "I have your father's sword," and I'm like, "Who the fuck is this? Like, what is he doing? Did I have to watch the movie? Fuck that movie."
That's exactly what they're trying to make you do.
I know, and I was so mad about it when I realized what was happening. The Dark World at the end, there's nothing to do. There's jack shit. I thought it was going to be like Final Fantasy VI with a whole new, like, whoa, second half of the game. Nah, just go fight the boss, bro. No, fuck you for providing this game. Let's just move on. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Square Enix is really bad.
They-
a whole bunch of that shit.
Yeah, I don't trust them anymore. Fuck them. Fuck the Royal Edition. Fuck Kingdom Hearts.
wanna-
You know what? Fuck Kingdom Hearts. I'm not buying that fucking
Easy now.
You're gonna buy it.
game. Yeah, I'll buy 3.
Yeah, don't even.
Okay, fine, whatever.
I wanted to end this section of the podcast with a little bit of a kind of a trivia before we get to Andy Gill's trivia. But I pulled up the most ported games of all time.
Oh boy.
And I think the first, we're just going to do the first 5, but I think they'll be fairly easy if you guys really think about it. So what's the number 1 ported game of all time? We're going to go from 1 to 5. Start with number 1.
Tetris.
Right?
Correct. Can you guys remotely guess how many platforms do you think it's on?
50.
Does it count like every single type of phone, or does it just count mobile as one?
Mobile is just 1.
Okay, 35.
35? I was gonna say 20.
65.
Whoa! I said 50 first. I was closer.
Holy fuck!
Well, you gotta think of
65
like
different
like
platforms.
Atari, like 4 Ataris, like Commodore, like
Not Atari. It came out for
think-
Game Boy originally.
Was it never on any Ataris?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
This next one I'm just going to talk about because I think it's weird. We'll have you guys guess on the number. But Dragon's Lair is one of the top
Oh,
ported,
that makes
Oh,
sense.
top
yeah.
ported games of all time. But can you guess how many platforms it's on?
Well, if Tetris was 65,
Like
Which is nuts.
like 40.
I was gonna guess 40.
But Dragon's Lair, that's so weird.
Yeah,
That's-
but I
weird.
have this game for DVD.
oh yeah,
Yeah, because all you do is just press a button to go in a direction.
That's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
This game is ported to a lot of things. It's a fun game.
So what'd you say? Guess what?
I think we both guessed around
Like
40.
40.
40?
Yeah.
29.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's going way down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tetris was definitely like the top.
Gotcha.
All right, so number 3 is an older game. Obviously, it's Pong.
Pong.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I
yeah,
didn't-
Pong,
Weird
but-
that it got ported
Holy
that
shit.
much. Yeah.
Which they might be including like modern interpretations of Pong. Who knows? But maybe they're just strictly Pong.
Pac-Man?
Guesses on platform.
Would
25.
yeah, 20.
25 is correct.
Oh wow.
Hey.
Yeah, yes.
I was gonna go with Pac-Man next, just because of the simple games. I think. Oh,
I
sweet.
don't know this game.
Snake.
You think Snake would be on there, but
Really?
a game called Lemmings?
Oh yeah.
You haven't played
I
Lemmings?
never played Lemmings.
That was MS-DOS. I used to play
Yeah.
that. Yeah, back in the day, I'd like type in commands to find lemmings on the computer.
Yeah, that game was on every. I had that game on my fucking calculator.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
That was on a lot of stuff.
Do you know what Lemmings is, John?
I don't.
It's like this. You tried to guide all of these little creatures to the end of the level without like killing them.
But you had to like select them, and you could make one like build a staircase for them to climb. But they would
Yeah.
keep walking back and
Oh,
forth.
so
so-
it's
yeah.
like the
It kinda-
Mario Donkey series.
It kind of plays
Yeah,
like
yep.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. You guys how many times that's been ported?
I'd give it 19.
17.
24.
Oh wow. Jeez.
Yep. All right, and one more, just for good keeping. I'll give you guys clues on this game because it's actually pretty popular.
Okay.
It's a shooter. It's had
Doom.
Doom.
There you go.
I was like, yeah, that's got to be Doom.
And then guesses on platform releases.
For Doom,
Yeah.
20.
the last one was 24.
Yep.
Fuck. 22.
23. Yeah. So
Wow.
there was your top 5 ported games of all time. That being said, let's go and jump into the real trivia of the show, and that's going to be the Andy Guild trivia. Andy, I'm going to let you
All
explain
right.
what this is.
Well, I have a name. It's called Let's Get Metacritical.
whoa!
A song. I'm gonna stop that now.
What is that from?
I found a bunch of students at University of Alabama singing "Let's Get Critical" for like their mathletes.
Disgusting.
The full video is like super cringy. Okay, give me 1 second to pull this up. Okay, so how this game works? I have a theme. I have some games. Get your phones out, like the memo thing on your phone, because you have to.
2018. We don't need paper.
Oh yeah, you have to guess before you start discussing what your guess is going to be.
All right.
So the rules are: I will name a game. You have to give me a score between 1 and 100 of what you think the Metacritic score looks like. And just for some clarification, Metacritic scores are based on the average of generally 50 or more noted critics and outlet scores. You also are going to tell me whether you think the player's score is higher, lower, or equal to the critic score.
Oh damn.
Nice.
So, let's see. You get 1 point if you're the closest to the Metacritic score, and 1 point if you get high or low. Correct. Or,
okay.
or equal.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So, the theme is 2018's highly anticipated God of War.
Ooh.
Let me get my announcer voice on. Okay, to start off, the game director is Cody Barlog, who has a background in animation and writing. He won a BAFTA for his work writing God of War 2, which he also directed. Barlog's breakout job with Sony, however, was working as the lead animator on another God of War game, 2005's original God of War.
This is the original.
This is the original.
2005,
This is
gotcha.
the original
Okay.
God of War.
So the Metacritic score for God.
So
of
you're going to
War.
give me the Metacritic score for God of War, and you're going to give me whether you think the player score is higher, lower, or equal to the Metacritic score.
Is
Something
it
like
the
that.
closest without going over?
You can go over.
Okay.
Discuss.
My number is 89.
Okay.
I think this was revolutionary at the time when it came out in PS2, and I'm going to say the users rated it even higher than
Okay.
the critics.
I said kind of close. I said 82.
Okay.
I could feel like that was a time where I don't remember if hack and slash was big at that time or not, so it might have been higher. But I feel like the users appreciated this more than the reviewers.
All right. The actual Metacritic score for God of War is a 94.
Wow.
So, Jake, you get 1 point. The user score is 89, so neither of you get a point for that because the user score was lower.
Ah.
And keep track of your own points. 'Cause,
doing that.
yeah, okay.
I got it.
All right. We have the guy with the coolest name on the dev team, Bear McCreary.
Ooh.
He's the composer for God of War, and he's worked primarily in the television industry. He's best
Walking
known
Dead.
for The Walking Dead and Battlestar Galactica. His first big composing job in the games industry, however, was also with Sony. He did the soundtrack for SOCOM 4 U.S. Navy SEALs, 2011.
Well, okay. I got it.
All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Start with John this time.
I said 79.
Okay.
'Cause I thought SOCOM was kind of over at this time. I remember correctly, SOCOM was better in the PS2 days. And I'm going to say the user score is actually lower.
Okay.
SOCOM was totally done by SOCOM 4. That's why my score was 64.
Okay.
All
And
right.
I'm going to say the user score was higher because anybody that played SOCOM 4 would like it more than the critics.
Okay, the actual Metacritic score, 67. Jake, you get a point. The player score, 64. John, you get a point.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
Still in this.
Yeah, this game, I actually bought this game, and yes, SOCOM was over, and it was not good. All right, next up, let's go. Richard Galbert, I think I'm saying that right, is a lesser-known writer working on the game who has also done voice acting work. This isn't really a huge accomplishment, as it was only on a game known for its clunky and awkward dialogue, despite being a classic PC game with multiple story branches. The game is Deus Ex 2000.
Oh, wow.
The original Deus Ex.
That game's old now. Really
Yes,
old.
it is.
All right, ready.
All right. What you got, Jake?
This is a shot in the dark, but I want to say when this game came out, it was pretty revolutionary gameplay-wise, just not like acting-wise. I want to go higher with the score. I had 90 originally. I'm going to go down to 85.
Okay.
And I think the users are going to be lower.
All right, John.
I said 84, so that's no fun.
Oh, son of a bitch.
That's no fun.
This is like over-under.
Uh-oh.
But
I
it's-
like it.
But I said the users were higher.
Here we go.
You each get a point.
right.
The Metacritic score is 90. You had it dead
Son of a
on
bitch.
with your instinct, but the players have it at 92.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
So it's still 3-2.
yeah.
I intended this as a tiebreaker, but I like it so much that we're just going to have it in the regular game.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
So, God of War is being developed by Sony Santa Monica, who started out developing the original God of War and went on to develop the rest of the series. However, they also developed another game that featured Kratos, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale
Jeez. This is my shit.
2012.
Oh, no.
I fucking love this game, bud.
But you're like one of the few.
Okay.
Am I going first?
Yeah, John first.
I said the critic score was 72,
Okay.
but I said the users voted higher.
All right.
I had 72 in my head. But
Ooh.
I said 75. I think John's going to get this point, but I think users are going to go lower.
Jake is the winner at 74. And the player score is exactly even. They're both
Oh, wow.
74.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said 75.
Yep. So, yeah, 1 off versus 2 off. So that makes you the
Nice.
winner
That was
overall,
close.
right?
That was
was
super
close,
close.
All right.
That was a fun game, Andy.
Thank you. I stole it from the Adam Carolla show. They do a Rotten Tomatoes game, but I didn't say that. Anyway.
I really like that game. That was good.
I like that I won Battle Royale. That game is so good. Underappreciated. I love it.
74.
There's a
I
reason.
fucking love it.
74 and everybody agrees.
There's a reason they didn't keep making it.
Yeah.
It's a sad reason.
There is a rumor that PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 is coming with featuring Aloy from Horizon,
Horizon,
and also what was the other character they talked about?
The guy from Persona.
Yeah, there was a Persona character on
I
there,
could see that.
and
They need more Uncharted. Put Sully in it.
yeah,
That'd be
I
good.
think there was another Uncharted character, and I can't think of it.
A lot of those-
Turismo car.
A lot of those characters are
Just
a lot
hit
of those
someone with a
characters-
car.
a lot of those characters they haven't played with in a long time, like that that big cake lady.
From Fat Princess.
Oh, Fat
Yeah.
Princess. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Which
then, like,
she was in the first one, right?
yeah,
yeah, like medieval, like whatever that guy was.
Yeah, I know
the
what you're-
skeleton
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a whole bunch just PlayStation history in a game. It was so much fucking fun.
I liked how the Master Hand was like that guy from the CDs, like the demo
Polygon
CDs.
Man.
Yeah, Polygon Man. That was funny.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how bad the Xbox version of that would be?
Oh,
Xbox All Stars.
Blink the Time Cat versus
Voodoo
Master
Vince.
Chief and Voodoo Vince.
Or was Bugsby a Microsoft property too?
They could probably get Bubsy if they wanted him.
You can pay $5 to get Bubsy in your game.
Hey guys,
Or Lucky from Lucky's Tale,
Oh, he would definitely be in it.
good news, we got the rights to Bubsy.
or Conquer.
Yeah, now they'd have all the rare people.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
that'd be kind of
yeah,
fun.
they would.
Yeah, who knows?
Something to think about.
Really nasty 360 Banjo Kazooie.
yeah.
Square face.
Nuts and
Ew.
bolts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
God.
All right, that being said, that has been episode 28 of Super Media All Stars. You can find us on all kinds of social media. The first one being Facebook. Please like and follow us there. You can find us on Twitter at SmashPod. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All Stars.
Yep. You can follow me on Instagram at SteelbookObsessed.
As well, check us out on YouTube. We post all our video content there as well, and all kind of our
For now.
unboxings. yeah, for now.
Yeah.
We got 2 unboxings coming up. We got IGN box that we did. We did another Loot Crate, and then on Jake's Steelbook side, we just did It.
We did It, and then Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yes, and Blade
we just
20.
got done filming. So
Yep. So those will be up shortly. And then if you're listening on to us on MacBook services, be sure to like and subscribe. If you listen to us on Google Play, on PC or Android, please like. And then if you're an internet radio fan, check us out on TuneIn. But that being said, that has been episode 28. Guys, I thank you for joining me. Audience, thanks for listening. We will see you next time. Battle Royale!
No.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye-bye.
I am out of here.